Today, I'm going to show you how you can get to your content manager to set up your site more efficiently by creating and storing content in the database. What's up, you guys? Thanks for tuning in with your boy Nino. And I got a tutorial today for you guys, and that's on how you can create your content manager, okay? Where to find it and how to create your databases within that content manager. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is just like at a beginner's level, but I just want to like give you guys just a little gist of like where to find this stuff at if you are following along with some of my advanced tutorials, or I wouldn't even call it advanced. It's probably intermediate tutorials right now at that point. If you're following along with those intermediate tutorials and you're just like, what in the heck is he talking about with the content manager or where the databases are living or any collections? I just wanted to give this tutorial to you guys today, and it's just very quick, simple, straight to the point. All right, so basically you just want to come over here to your sidebar here, and you'll come down here and it says content manager. So once it loads up, okay, so here it is, content manager. Then you click on the content manager. You have all of your information in here. So all of the content that you want to store in your databases. These are all of your databases. Now they call them collections, but basically it's a database. So you're a database of full information based on what you're collecting from your visitors each time that they hit the site. Okay, so if you want to create a new collection, you guys can come right here down to new collection. Or if you want to add collection elements to your page, you can actually go ahead and choose a template here. They actually give a great template. I highly advise you to use it. If not, then don't. Like, be a freestylist, go ahead and do and make your own templates. Hopefully they can actually come up with a certain way of making your own templates in here. So that's probably something for the future. Definitely go to their support page and ask them for it. I bet you they're happy to actually take on this project because a lot more people ask about it, a lot faster it comes out. All right, so you can come here and you can bring over a database onto your page if you would like, or you can create a form data set, okay? And these are easy buttons here, and also you can come to the notorious Wix help, which this is the learn more button. When you come to learn more, you can actually go to Content Manager Help Center, or you can go to the Content Manager Support, or you can go ahead into the advanced where that's going to be where your Velo forum is. And that's what I normally talk about in my other tutorials. So definitely go check them out in the right hand corner as I speak right now, just to check out some tutorials on what I did with Content Manager databases. All right, so that's one way how you can get to it from just a standpoint of a non-developer mode. Okay, if you want to go into the developer mode and find this same content manager or all of your databases, you want to head over to the dev mode and you want to turn your dev mode on. All right, so once you turn your dev mode on, you'll actually come to this little setup here where you have your code panel down here, and then also your different developer options right here. So you have your page code, your code files, search for your code, databases, Velo tools, Wix blocks, and Velo help. And databases is where your content manager lives. Okay, so you want to just go ahead and head over to content manager. All right, and this is all your content collections, and you can actually create another one just by hitting this plus button. Okay, and if you want, this is more of an advanced look at it, but if you want to know exactly what your database is doing and what it's doing and how it's set up, you guys can actually hit on these three buttons right here, and you can click on edit settings. Okay, and also you can add a dynamic page, and then also you can add a blank dynamic page. That's like with nothing on there. With adding a dynamic page, you actually get a template that they set up for you based upon the collection that it sees. And then also you can add and remove hooks. That's going to be in another new tutorial coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. And also you can remove the collection from this 3-dot option list here. Okay, if you want to go ahead and edit the settings, you just click edit settings, all right, for one of your databases that you've made. All right, and then you can see that my collection ID is right here as I had stated it as the collection name. So I just want to keep that similar. Okay. And then it says, what is the collection for? So this is basically your permissions. Okay. So what type of permission level do you want? So you have a site content, form submission, member generated content, members only form submission, private data, and then custom use. Sometimes I just want to go and get straight to the point and actually choose from my general permissions or site member permissions. But if I want to actually get very granular with my approach, I want to go ahead and come to my custom use. And as you can see, it says custom permissions. So I'm going to set those. I'm going to come over to here and see who's going to read this content. Well, maybe I just want, like site member author to see their own content, right? And then who creates the content? Well, I want anyone to create the content because maybe I have some skip logic in there that actually helps people to log in. So they have to log in and they can put the information in there, or they can actually just be anonymous and just put their information down however they want. Okay, and then also who can update it? Now, maybe I want just the site member author to update it. So the site member author can only update that one record that they have created, okay? Or however many records is tied to them. And I can actually go more in detail when I look into the content manager database, okay? And then also, who can delete content from this collection? Well, maybe I just want myself, the website owner, to just delete content from this collection. All right, so let's go ahead and save those changes. As you can see, that is my custom usage. And then also my database will pop up. So now let's go ahead and dive into this database or content manager to give you a little bit more brief details on like what it's all about. So when you come to your first page, you're going to actually see that the content manager is going to be down here on your dashboard. So you want to come down here to your content manager, click on that, and it should show you all of the collections that you have in your website. Okay. Now, right now, I'm only seeing just this one database. So one collection, and this one collection is all of this information here that I have. So you can easily come in here and select a table, a list, or a gallery format that you want to have for your visual representation for your own doing. Okay, if you want a list of information just showing up here, then you can have that list here. If you want to have a gallery, you can have a gallery of that stuff. Okay, but we're just going to keep it at a table. All right, so as you can see, I have all of my information here. And what you want to do here is you want to check your fields, okay? If you want to add a new field, you go ahead and click this new field button, all right? And also if you want to show the ID of that, then you can show the ID. That means that is your primary key. So this primary key here is going to be what that data source is in this database. So that means if you wanted the title to be unique, you guys would have to make it as unique as this primary key is here. But this is always going to be here for each record that gets put into the database. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm in this database here, and I'm actually hiding 3 fields right here: my owner, created date, and updated date. Well, now I want to just get rid of the ID because I don't actually need that in my database right now for me to see, but also it gives you opportunities to actually search your database. Okay, so if you're looking for a certain value, you can actually go ahead in here and search up that item as you wish. And if you want to go ahead and sort by certain things, you can click sort and you can add the sorts here based on the different types of field types you have. So you can see that I have a lot of field types here, and I can actually add these field types in. And then also I can select it based on if it's a title, which if it's a text, it's going to do A to Z, Z to A. If it's a date, it's going to be oldest to newest and newest to oldest. Okay. And then also it goes down to if you want to do a blank cell or a blank cell on the bottom, for the images, and then also for the tags you can do blank cells on top, blank cells on bottom. If you want to do numbers, it will just be highest to lowest and lowest to highest. Okay, so you can see that they give you a lot of viable options for you to sort. Now, as for the filter, you can add as many filters as you want. You can come over here and filter based on any of the records here, any of the field keys here. So you can actually choose a condition for the titles that contains, does not contain, is not, cell is empty or not empty. Okay, and then you can enter that value if it contains a value. If you want to just be cell is empty or not, it won't give you no value to put in. All right. And so if you want to do this for date, you guys can go into each and every one of the field types, field property types, and look around to see which condition you want to choose for that field key. Okay, so that is actually how you do your filters. And also, I just want to say that yes, right here, sorting and filter will not affect the content on your live site. You just got to be reminded of that, just to give you some clarity over what is being shown on your website. All right, so if you guys want to add a new field, let's go ahead and add a new field. We'll see that this field name is going to be whatever I want it to be. Now, when I'm going to type in, it's going to actually be the same thing for the field name and field key. Now, if you want it to be different, I highly suggest that you guys start with field key first, so that then you can then name it however you would like, and it won't change that field key parameter down here. Now, you have lots of types here. You have images, booleans, all of these types here, but the ones that I'm going to talk about today is actually the reference and multi-reference, and also the array and object. Okay, these are the 4 main new things that actually Wix has to offer, and I really enjoy them. Okay, reference, you can actually reference a collection. So this reference is only going to this reference is only going to connect to the primary field. Okay, so if I go through all of my collections here, you can see that my collections here are shown up here. Now, if I wanted to collect like faculty members, okay, based upon the primary selector, it's going to show that information in the field. But just remember that when you're pulling over a reference or when you're pulling over a multi-reference, just be clear that you can only match it based upon the ID, okay? The ID field, the one that I showed you about the primary key, because it will not correlate when you're trying to query it. Later on in my tutorials, I will show you how you can query your database, and I've actually have several examples here, so I'll put that in the right hand corner as I speak right now. But right now I want to say that this is very key and it's a big game changer. Now, if you want to go ahead and do multi-reference, you'll just click multi-reference, and then you'll have to select that actual collection that it's coming from, so that then it's coming from that one collection, and then it has multiple IDs that can be put into that reference column. Okay, so basically it's like an array, right? But in this array, you can actually put whatever you would like, okay, instead of it just being that primary key or that ID from that other data source. You can easily attach an array to this collection, and it can easily be updated however you would like, instead of just being in a strict format like tags or in a strict format like multi-reference or references. Okay, and then also you have an object. Now, many people don't know about objects, but it is a game changer. Like, you can put as many things as you want in this JSON, and it's a JavaScript object oriented notation, and basically what it does is it captures all of the different items and puts it into an index. Okay, and this index is going to have multiple things that you can possibly put in there, and it brings up multiple cases where if you want to go ahead and collect certain things but don't want it to show up in your database, you can go ahead and do that. And things that you might have been missing or outliers, you can actually put into this object. I really think the object is a big game changer. But also with arrays, you can also put objects inside of arrays. So that is something I would encourage you guys to look up on Mozilla if you guys want to, or just Google it. Google what I'm actually talking about, because this is very interesting stuff and it's something that is a need to know, a very good practice to have. And I'm actually going to dip into the tags area as well. So tags actually come into an array listing of different text items that you put into your tags. So just make sure that it's based on, when you're querying, is based on the actual text and not the ID, okay? Because this has nothing connected to it. All right. And then address, this is going to be address. And as you can see, it says personal identifiable information. Actually, Wix is actually encrypting. I don't know if it's encrypting or not, so you guys are gonna have to check in the Wix support. But from my knowledge, what it's doing is it's protecting that field type. Okay, so that means it's encrypting the data and it's pushing it out, and then it's pushing it back into the database as encrypted. That is from my knowledge, but I don't know for sure if that is. So go ahead and check out Wix support and let me know in the comments below what you had come up with. But for right now, I think that, you know, anything that is personally identifiable, I would turn that thing on. Okay, and this would be saying the content in the field is encrypted. Now, from my knowledge, like I said again, from my knowledge, it is encrypted. So I would love to see what Wix has to offer for the next steps in terms of security. So as you can see, I can come up to my text and it actually keeps that personal identifiable information there, just in case you wanted to put I don't know, like a phone number there, or if you wanted to put an email there. Those are personally identifiable information that you would like to encrypt. So I highly suggest that you guys use that when you're in your database. Okay, now if you want to go back to all your databases, you can actually click this back button here. So we'll click this back button, and actually you can see a whole dashboard of all of your collections and also your blogs, your events, or any type of marketing that you have going on for your Wix store. Okay, and actually you can only see your blog and your events and marketing or any other Wix data source in your preview mode, or sorry, in your editor mode. Okay, you cannot see this on a regular dashboard. They try to hide that for security reasons so that other people don't go into your actual content manager stuff, okay, when they're on your actual dashboard. Now that's only when it comes to permissions, and I actually went over that in another tutorial, so go ahead and check that out. I'll put that in the right hand corner as I speak right now. And actually you can actually come inside here and add a new collection. So if you click this add new collection, this will give you the same exact thing that we saw when we were looking at our edit settings. Okay, so in our edit settings or our permissions, this is what we saw. Now this is giving you a clean slate, so I highly suggest that when you're actually putting in your collection ID, make sure that you are confident with that collection ID, because you cannot change it after you set it. Okay, unless you delete the collection and then you start another collection, then you can do that just like that. But I highly suggest that you guys look into this and make sure that you set it in a correct format. Some people like to say, you know, content and then underscore manager. You know, this is just an example, but if people don't want to put that underscore, people can just, you know, take the underscore out and just have a capital letter for the start of each word, or if you guys will want to just keep it lowercase, you guys can. But the only thing that you cannot do is have spaces in it. Okay, as you can see, I'm pressing the space bar right now repeatedly and it's not letting me do any spacing. Okay, so make sure that you understand that. And then also you can't do no dashes. Okay, if you do a dash, that's fine, but I highly suggest doing the underscore, because normally when you're actually writing in your code and you want to query a data source, you want to query the data source and have an underline, okay? Just keeping that in mind. All right, so that is pretty much it about creating the collection. So let's go ahead and exit out of that. I'm not going to create one. So as you can see, I have all of my mini collections here. Okay, now as you can see, there is a new option. This is like my little spoiler. Okay, well, it's a Wix spoiler, but you know, I like to put it in my videos. But anyways, this is where you can no longer sync your sandbox. Okay, you don't have to have a sandbox. You can actually disable your sandbox. And this is a real big game changer, because a lot of people are like, well, what is happening to my data? I want to see my live data in real time when I preview my site. Well, now you have the option to do so. You can actually go ahead and disable your sandbox, so that then when you're previewing your site in the editor mode, you can actually see your live data. Now, I highly suggest that you guys look into this. I like to keep the sandbox just for clarity reasons, because then I can just sync everything from live to my sandbox and then see everything. But some people have preferences, and so this gives you an option to do so. But yeah, so that is pretty cool. They actually give you more actions here, so you can actually restore your backups, okay? And then you have advanced settings here that we're gonna go into in a minute. But as you can see, you can restore backups, okay? So as you can see, we can go to restore backups, and there is no latest database that is backed up right now. But this is where you can restore your collections if you were to, you know, delete something from your collection or something like that. Wix will actually have a late backup for that specific collection when it's live, okay? So that means when your collection is live, and also when your website is published, it will actually start backing up your data. So this is very cool to have. It's backed up every 7 days. Pretty easy, pretty neat. And if you guys want to have something that's a lot quicker than 7 days, I highly suggest you guys look into creating your own type of hooks, okay, where it actually creates another database for you, and you can create your database and you don't have anything else to worry about, right? So that is your backups here, but I will show you in another tutorial about hooks and how you can create a backup database so that it can just back up every single time without actually having to wait that 7-day length of time. Okay, so I'm going to click back, and then as you can see, we were talking about the advanced settings. So let's go ahead to advanced settings. Now, as you can see, this is where your sandbox is at, okay? So this is where you can turn your sandbox on or off. And so you can use this sandbox as a test environment for your collection, or you don't have to, and you could just use the live site. So this actually tells you what happens after you disable your sandbox. This is very key. Okay, you guys need to know about this right here. So read up about it and definitely make sure you're making the right decision for your website. And so if you want to learn more, you can go ahead and learn more at the center. If you want to see the release notes about this data content manager, then you can go ahead and click release notes. It will actually show you all of the release notes for that content manager. And it's very informational. I kid you not. Like, it tells you everything that they have updated. So as you can see, they actually made an advanced settings here for the sandbox. A lot of people liked it, and you can keep scrolling down. You can see all of the ones from December 2020 of the copy and paste method, which I'm actually going to show you guys right here where it shows up on here. So you can easily copy and paste all of your information from your data source. So let's go ahead in here and let's go ahead and click on courses. Let's just create a simple course, okay? And we're gonna say Creatively Nino course. Well, Creatively Nino network. All right. And as you can see, you can click on this record, right? And it can be item selected. Now you can sync this to live, but I don't think you'll have this option if you turn off your sandbox mode, okay? And then also you can go ahead and click delete here, okay? And you can delete this one record. If you have multiple records, you guys can actually use the toggle button, the checkbox, and toggle it on or off in order to delete that record. Okay, now actually you can actually expand this record as well, but we're gonna get into that later soon. But right now I wanted to just show you that you could just toggle this button on and off in order to delete that record. Now, if say for instance you want to copy this record and you want to make a duplicate, how can I do that, Nino? How can I do that? Well, you can actually come into this little box here, right here. You can right click it and you can actually copy, you can cut it, you can paste it, or you can clear it. Okay, and then also you can open it in form. That's the same thing as here. We can right click it again and we can add an item here, so we can do it, or it shows you the alternate keyboard option where you could click shift and enter. Okay, and that would actually give you another record. Now you can actually click duplicate item and you can actually duplicate this item. So we're gonna duplicate it, and as you can see, it actually adds copy to it. Okay, so you want to be cognizant of that it actually puts a copy on here. Okay, if you want to go ahead and right click it again, you can actually delete that item right there instead of having to do the checkbox if you don't want to do multiple records to delete. So I can go ahead and click delete item, and that can give me a prompt. It says delete items. Are you sure you want to delete this item? Well, yeah, I do. So I want to click delete. All right, and then also it will show you that the sort is out of date, so you want to go ahead and update that sort. And it's sorting based on the created date, so just make sure that you know that this whole entire thing, the default view is created date, newest to oldest. Okay, now you guys can go ahead and click this sidebar here and you can hide the menu from it so that you can just see your own database right here. All right, and then also let's go ahead to the expand view. As you can see in the expand view, it just puts all of your actual field names and field keys in an appropriate form layout. Okay, and you can actually customize this form just the way that you could customize your fields in a table format. Okay, so you can come in here, and this is for each record. All right, you can put all of your information in, and also you can see that I have some references down here based on course prerequisite and the courses here. And then also I can come up here and delete this record, this single record, or I can cancel it, or I can save it. I just want to go ahead and save it. All right, so that is all that I can see right now. If you want to actually change from your live view to your sandbox view, you can come up here and click sandbox, and you can click live here. And also you can click sync sandbox to live. So if you want to go ahead and sync everything that you have in here, that means you have uploaded all of your content that you want. You guys can actually do this simple sync to sandbox to live. Then it can also say that you need to publish your site, which I don't have my site published right now, but basically it will give you a prompt to tell you exactly how many items is getting pushed over to live. And then also it will give you a prompt to say, do you really wish to put all of the sync of the sandbox into the live view? If you do put all of your sandbox items into live view, it will overwrite those live views. It will not just append it to the list. So I highly suggest that you guys go ahead to Wix support and ask about that, because that is something very important, I think, to be able to append your stuff on to your live view. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and definitely give it a shot. If you have any questions, drop it below. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and if you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. All right, ciao.